Good day. The title of today is The Misery of the Current or Present Reason, R capital letter. Introduction. Regardless of the scientific technological revolutions that indeed of the fourth revolution, as these revolutions in scientific technological thought constitute, in our opinion, the wonderful ground despite the reservation of the philosophical thought for a new human civilization, given that it has been based since the beginning of the scientific technological progress on reason. We leave the scientific technological mind now aside to see the order or side on the other side of this saying, and I mean the enlightenment mind by its manifestation in exalting the authority of the mind with its multiple values: freedom, equality, and all human rights. Enlightenment today, what is this? Among my paper that I have collected from the internet and other references, and for a while, is a serious attempt to revive the great idea of the age of enlightenment. Example, reason, for example, as mentioned, 1996, Peter Gay, The Living Enlightenment, we said, lecture on human values, Techno, etc. in Canada, and also Enlightenment in the 21st century, Giordano Bruno, shifting 2,500 years of enlightenment in the world culture. One head does not think alone. This site that I told you now has recorded many slogans about enlightenment. In the French language, for example, French culture, for example, we received the same attention about the call and the return on the revival of the values of the Enlightenment era. Todorov, Sivan, in 2006, Defense of the Enlightenment, or in French language, l'esprit des Lumières. On peut also, on net also, also we get in French culture about the Enlightenment, Daniel Roche, les Lumières d'hier font les débats d'aujourd'hui. Pensée des Lumières aujourd'hui. But more important that all the general references that I beneficial, the reader in considering the subject of the Enlightenment, that in 2018, the Anglo-Saxon culture and intellectual scene witness the publication of the very important book on the realization of all the ideas of the Enlightenment in today's world. I mean, Steven Pinker, Enlightenment Now, 2018. It was translated into French with an excellent title, Le Triomphe des Lumières. In short, the contents of the book are the following. Summary, for many words of N on the thing. Threatened, B, terrorist, wars, immigration, and apocalypse is his latest book, The Triumph of Light, giving a rather optimist historical analysis of the past 2 centuries, 2018 and all. All the great ideas of the Age of Enlightenment has been realized, since in the appearance in France and Britain. In the world today is living the ideas regarding our author, Steven Pinker, of the idea enlightenment in all its aspects. I mean the enlightenment. The book is huge, about 750 pages with all documentation, references and statistics, etc. In the book, for example, there are 150 pages of reference, documentation, etc. It is not a pamphlet from the French. Never has humanity experienced such a peaceful and happy period. This book supports. It shows, the book, that the health, prosperity, and peace which are on the rise all over the world. I have the other side. Now I have the other side of the subject. What I mean, that is enlightenment, as everyone agrees, established the sanctification of the sublime idea, which is the sublime and semi-sacred exaltation of the value of reason and humiliation in ways of thinking and way of life, and that rationality moves the world history and human life. But today's world is not led by reason. And let's start the story from a historical point of view that is close to us, to go back a little, that is, since the beginning of the 20th century. The new destroyers of reason and the rise of new barbarians, the political context of decline of the human reason. We have 3 points to say today around what are the aspects of deterioration of or decline of reason. First one, the story began with the great tragic events, historical facts, World War 1914 and 1918, and also Second World War, the 1939 and 1945, where these events formed the political context in which it led to the defeat of the thought in the West. And now I am not concerned with whom or was defeated by the event itself, which, as I said, this is in terms of context, and of the other hand, it is a dramatic embodiment of the mode of thinking in political life and the terminology of the misery of the reason. This is a title of our subject today, the misery of the reason of today. The second events, also the Second World War, 1939 and 1945. The two wars marked the total collapse of the thought and life in the West, and they formed shock and fracture in the mind, soul, and spirit in the West. Number two, two terrorist movements against reason, Nazism and fascism. Regarding my reference that I told you now, Cause of the rise of Nazism in Germany. What are the causes of wars and the rise of Nazism and fascism? You can consult an historical reference. But I mean also for two movements, just for your memory and just for your thought. I mean the first one, the Nazism, and the second, fascism. Now this is a political context of our deterioration of our region of today. Now number three, the emergence of the expansion of the Marxism-Leninism. Maybe this is an aspect also, an aspect of deterioration of the region, of enlightenment, or maybe in the world, and it is anti-independence ideological of region. Briefly, definition. Nazism is full national socialism, German national socialismus, totalitarian movement led by Adolf Hitler as head of the Nazi party in Germany, and in its intense nationalism, mass appeal, and dictatorial rule. Nazism shared many elements with Italian fascism. A political philosophy, movement, or regime such as the fascist that exalt nation and often above the individual, and that stand for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, civil economic and social regimentation, and the forced suppressions of opposition. What is fascism? Now I told you now what is Nazism in Germany, and second movement in political life. Fascism is a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalt nation and often raise above the individual, and they stand for the centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader. Civil. Now number three, I suppose maybe many people maybe don't have reason for according to my idea that Marxism-Leninism definition is the third movement that influence of the deterioration of the decline of the modern reason. I repeat, Marxism-Leninism method or Marxism-Leninism ideology. Generally, Marx support the proletarian, internationalism, and socialist democracy, and oppose anarchism. In other words, we ask, what is Marxism-Leninism ensemble word? It is practical by the Soviet Union, USSR, and the ancient USSR after in this, now it's finishing. Now you have, in conclusion, we have three movements influenced of the decline of our region of today. First one, the Nazism, second, fascism, and Marxist-Leninist ideology. You have three aspects and three elements and three factors influence of deterioration or the decline of the present in our age. And the second title, in the second time, I continue this dissertation regarding the present reason of our today. I see you next time. Bye.